Before we get started in this one, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. Let's get started with what's going on, guys. Kit Bash here, bringing you another video. This time it is of a tutorial to tighten joints. I am not the creator of this technique, but I do like to use it a lot. It's really awesome and it works on a variety of things. Like, a lot of people don't even understand or even fathom how this technique can work on it. It works on mushroom pegs, it'll work on ball joints, it'll work on swivels. It all just depends on how often you do it and how much you use. You can even use this stuff as a top coat. I've used it as a top coat on a couple of things and it actually works pretty well. It's this Pledge floor care stuff. I know there's videos on YouTube about how to use it, but I want to give a clear definition on how it works and what type of figures it can work on and which ones it won't work on. Before you have, this is a 1.0 Piccolo, Lightning Collection Black Ranger, and a 2.0 Trunks. So for Piccolo here, he was loose. I think I put some in his arms. Yeah, his arms. I put some in his thigh. Did I? Yeah, I put some in there. And I put some on his feet. So for this body mold, for this figure, really, for this body mold, yeah, you can say body mold. There's a ball joint here and a ball joint at the ankle. There's also a ball joint deep in the torso. You just got to pop the arms out. I use these things. These are eyedroppers. I just put some in here. That way I don't... Ooh, stand up, Piccolo. That way I don't have to keep pulling this out every time I want to use it. I just get some. I have like 8 of these with floor polish in it. This one's actually getting kind of thick. This one's actually kind of like gel now, but I find the ones that are loose like this, if you can see this on camera, there's still liquid in there. This is just floor polish in here. Way easier than pulling out this big bottle every time. And these are really small enough to get in these joints. So for me, my purposes, this is what I do. Some figures I don't have any to display and show you because I do this to every figure, like especially Lightning Collection. They're really loose in the hip area, like all of them. I don't know what it is, but majority of these figures get really loose in the legs, and when you stand them up, the legs like to spread apart. So this is a step that I take immediately. But for him, you can see the ball joint. This is a perfect example. Can you see that? Is there enough light? Let me see. Let me not move that one. Move this one. Is that enough light for y'all to see? It is. Okay. So you see those ball joints in there? That's what you effectively want to. That's where you want to get the floor polish to tighten up the joint. So you take your eyedropper. If you don't do it this way, you could probably use a toothpick, but it'd take a little longer, or Q-tip too. You could probably dip a Q-tip. Take a Q-tip and dip it in the bottle if it's full, because it should generally appear. I found this at Walmart. I think you can get it on Amazon too, but I found mine at Walmart. It's kind of weird. I think they changed the label. I know they changed it from, like, before the label was like red and yellow, and this was really hard to find. It's not that people buy it. It's just the label changes and they move the spot. Generally in the store, it's in the area with the mops and the floor care stuff, like literally. There's a few bottles that look like this. There's a white one. There's another clear one. I think those are like soapy stuff. This one's just a finish for wood floors, or it says multi-surface finish, but mainly for wood floors. So like I said, you can get a Q-tip, dip it in there, and then soak up the joint however you want to do it. Be kind of careful when you do it though, because this stuff will spill out. And if you have a figure like him, he's matte black on his thighs. So if you spill this stuff out and it dries, it'll dry shiny. So just be careful with that. Don't use too much. Try not to use too much. It'll take you a couple of times to get it right, depending on how you do it. So let me get back to how I do it. Get my eyedropper, and I just put 1 or 2 drops, and this works really well on Figuarts. It works better on Figuarts than it does on Hasbro stuff. You can do it on Marvel Legends too. I get the eyedropper, put a couple drops in there, and I work it around. I work the joint like this. I move it out in, just to get full coverage on the joint. You know, you could do it however you want. You could pop the joint off. You could fill up the peg hole with the stuff and pop it on. However you want to do it. I just do it my way. I get the ball joint completely soaked. You let it sit, not soaked, but you get the ball joint completely covered. Then I let mine sit for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, maybe an hour, depending on when I remember. And you should see immediately. It shouldn't take 2 or 3 times with a Figuart anyway. You should see immediately what's going on. The joint will be noticeably stiffer. Sometimes you'll get some white flake coming out of the joint. It depends on how much you use the figure. For me, I take pictures, so sometimes my joints do get ashy in here. I think you can see it on this one. If you can see in there, probably can't see on camera. But if you can see in there, let me see. It gets kind of ashy because, like I said, the more you use it, this stuff, I'm not gonna say it comes off, but it just flakes. It's really good stuff. I really like the technique. Like I said, you could do it on legs. I do it on his ankles because they're ball joints. Some swivels work, but some don't. I believe these eyedroppers are at like Target and Walmart and stuff. You could probably find them on Amazon. I think they were for drinks, like alcoholic drinks, because you could put these in strawberries, like put vodka, put a strawberry. Topic for another topic for another discussion. But these are just eyedroppers or liquid droppers, or whatever you want to call them. I think they should be pretty cheap. I think they come in packs of like 200 or something. But yeah, for the Lightning collection, Hasbro, like I said, the only issue I have is with the legs. So for these, I don't know if it works on these kind of joints though, like elbow and knee joints. I have another technique. I'll put a card in the video for it. I have another technique to tighten down these kind of joints. These are really easy to do too. You just take a little bit of time. But this is really, really simple. Like I said with Piccolo, you just take it. You take a couple drops in there, a couple drops in there. And these tolerances aren't as tight as those, so you might have to do this. You might have to do this twice. So if you put a couple drops, you let it dry, you see how it is. And if it's still really loose, like his leg it's not super loose, but it's loose to like me barely just resting my finger on it, it moves. So I know there's room in there for me to put more. Of course he falls. I know there's room in there for me to put more, but I just haven't. I don't really need to because he stands. Like I said, the problem with these Lightning figures, sometimes out of the box, you go to stand them up and the legs, they'll slide open just like that. If you can see that, probably not. The legs will slide open just like that. So this just lets it stand up a little bit better. It also works on neck pegs too. You can use it on neck pegs. Pretty much anything with a ball joint, and this stuff will work pretty good. Do it a couple times on Hasbro stuff. The tolerances aren't as tight. Now for the 2.0 figures, I haven't had a problem with loose legs yet, so I can't really say yay or nay to it. But if you look in here, 2.0 Trunks, this is one of the first 2.0s. I think after that battle damage Goku was him or Vegeta or something. But the joint in here is different than a regular Figuart, and I'm not too sure. Actually, I do know how these are pegged in because Spider-Man has the same thing. Instead of these being ball joints like Piccolo is, these have mushrooms on a like a L. So like the mushroom is attached to this leg, but it goes up and it's like this, and it hooks into the crotch piece right here. Like a mushroom peg, like a wrist peg or something like that, you know. So they both plug in on each side. I think one plugs into the other. I think it works like that. I think there's a small one and there's a one with a hole like that, and it plugs in like this. not to be sexual, but it plugs in like that, and I think they hook together. So I'm not too sure if that'll work on there. If you look inside of here, where does he have the ball joint at? Is there no ball joint in this torso? Oh yeah, it's right there. You probably can't see in there like I can because I'm not looking through the phone. I'm looking through my eyes. But there's a ball joint in here that you could probably tighten up too. But yeah, this technique is really, really simple and really, really effective. I really hope I explained it thoroughly because it really works. I use it all the time, literally. Like I use it on a lot of stuff. Like I said, I even use it as a top coat. Let me lay Trunks down. I put a top coat on his helmet. You have to be easy though, because if you don't let this stuff cure, it'll flake off. I use it as a top coat on Zach's helmet, but I was so like eager. I was doing like a bunch of stuff at one time. If you don't know me, when I do a custom, I get excited and I do stuff too quickly, and I move stuff and I touch stuff and stuff falls off. I don't let super glue cure sometimes, and I just be like, oh shit, look at this, this is dope, and this shit falls apart. But I didn't let this stuff fully cure on his head. Let me see if I could pop this off without breaking it, because I already broke one and I had to fix it. I tried to do the hot glue trick and raise the head, and this shit, that's what fucked me on this one. Was I was trying to do the hot glue trick not right after, but like an hour after I put this on the helmet, and let's just say I fucked it up. But if you can see on here, you probably cannot because it is not focused. If this shit was out of focus, that sucks. I don't really want to do this video again. Hope it was on the focus, and I hope you can understand what I'm saying. But yeah, let me get this down here lower. If you could see on this helmet, like right in this area, it was worse, but I rubbed it off. This whole back section like flaked off on me. Like you could probably see probably not. If you can't see it, then just take my word for it. This whole back section from this tusk, all of this back section rubbed off on me. It flaked off and it was ugly. It was dumb. So, like I said, if you do this method as a top coat, I know people who do it to entire figures. It's fine if you let it cure. You just have to leave your shit alone long enough to let it cure, which is hard for me because I be fucking with stuff. But yeah, you can top coat it. It tightens joints. I love using this method. I actually have 2 bottles of this because it's not, like I said, it's not hard to find, but it's not like always where you want it to be. Here it is. Yeah, I bought 2 of these. So, and then you can, did it? No, it didn't. Yeah, I bought 2 just because I didn't want to miss out. Like I didn't want, and I've had this bottle, and I say miss out, but I've had this bottle for like 5 years, I want to say. And it'll turn, it's normally clear when you buy it from the store, but it turns this yellow tint, but it doesn't mess up anything. It's just been sitting. Like I've had this one for like 5 years. I've had this one for like 2 years. And in 5 years, it's funny because in the 5 years I had this, I spilled it once. I actually spilled it twice, actually. So it was full. I spilled it once, like right here. I spilled it again. And even still, from what I use, me filling these up saves me, like I said, from bringing this out and spilling it again and wasting it. So you don't need to. I just got 2 because I thought I was going to keep spilling this and waste it all. But yeah, Pledge, Floor Care, Shine, Protect, Restore, Finish. You should be able to find it on Walmart's website too, I'm pretty sure. Tightens up joints on 1.0 Figuarts. Anything with a ball joint, really. It'll tighten up anything with a ball joint. I've used it on 1,000 Toys. I've used it on Marvel Legends. I don't really buy a lot of other brands, but I've used it on those 2. Works amazing. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this tutorial, this walkthrough. Let me know if this format is cool for you. I'm planning on doing another one. Torso splitting video or lack thereof coming soon. And I'm out.